Ahead, the Crooked E, CBS Sunday.
Why is he using the name Jim Elliott, an unusual alias at 6?
Tonight's headlines: a massive new troop deployment for war with Iraq. UN weapons inspectors digging faster and deeper. Bush Medicare overhaul plan, including a drug coverage benefit. Also tonight, the FDA approves the use of Prozac to treat depression in children. A Friday consumer alert about a sweepstakes scam that could cost you a fortune. And the kindness of a stranger, the priceless gift he gave a child he didn't even know.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Dan is on assignment tonight. I'm Scott Pelley. We begin this evening with U.S. troops on the move. The buildup of forces for a possible war with Iraq is about to grow a whole lot larger. Correspondent David Martin at the Pentagon has early word tonight on what's coming next in the showdown with Saddam.
While the commander-in-chief was surrounding himself with soldiers at Fort Hood, Texas, the Pentagon was preparing a series of new deployment orders that would move 70 to 80,000 more troops into position to invade Iraq. Counting the forces already in the Persian Gulf and those already on the way, these new orders, which Defense Secretary Rumsfeld is expected to begin approving next week, would increase to well over 150,000 the number of troops, everything from foot soldiers to fighter pilots to ammo handlers, targeted against Saddam Hussein. That number would include the 3rd Infantry Division from Fort Stewart, Georgia, and Marines from Camp Pendleton, California, who will form the nucleus of ground troops ready to invade Iraq from the south.
But the Pentagon's war plans go far beyond that. Still to come, officials say, is another order for an additional 25 to 30,000 troops that would bring the total number of forces to roughly 200,000 and allow the U.S. to invade Iraq not just from the south, but from the north and west as well.
The Pentagon is planning a 3-front war, sending those 25 to 30,000 troops into Jordan, the staging area for attacks into western Iraq, and Turkey, the launch pad for northern Iraq. But Jordan's king has not yet given his approval, and Turkey's foreign minister said today his country may not allow its bases to be used to open up a northern front. That doesn't matter to the troops the president spoke to today at Fort Hood, many of whom will soon become part of the buildup.
I think it's something that needs to be done. We need to take care of this now, nip it in the bud before it gets any worse.
And Pentagon officials say it won't stop the president from going ahead with an invasion. But it would increase the risks, and in military operations, risks are measured in lives. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Inside Iraq, UN weapons inspectors are also expanding their forces. The deadline for their report on what they have and have not found is just 3 weeks away. And CBS News correspondent Lee Cowan in Baghdad reports that the inspectors are kicking into high gear.
The pictures may seem repetitive, but Iraq's state-sponsored TV covers it like breaking news, showing viewers the daily progress of what the UN admits is a very slow process.
Bravo 20, Bravo 20.
But with an end-of-the-month deadline fast approaching, the inspectors' pace is about to quicken. Tomorrow, the UN will expand its reach, opening a new headquarters in Mosul, some 240 miles north of Baghdad, where inspections so far have been sparse. The UN has also finished assembling 6 U.S. and Russian-made helicopters, able to swoop inspectors into faraway sites with much greater surprise. But it's not just the on-site inspections that are key. Environmental samples flown out of Iraq weeks ago are now in the final stages of being analyzed. Armed with those results and with more questions, the UN's chief weapons inspector, Hans Blix, will return to Baghdad to settle any unresolved issues. And Blix says there are plenty. But if you believe Iraq's deputy prime minister, what the inspectors find or don't find isn't what the U.S. is after. The real goal, he says, is oil.
Very simple. It's very clear.
And if the U.S. gains control of the oil market, he charges,
every nation is going to pay a price.
Although Iraq sits on top of the world's second largest oil reserve, double what the U.S., Canada, and Mexico have combined, most oil analysts say it's not a big enough prize to go to war. Still, for many Iraqis, war seems inevitable. The morning papers put it bluntly. You can't teach a dog new tricks, one read, dismissing President Bush's hopes the standoff might end peacefully. One avenue of peace could come from the Arab world itself. Some Arab leaders have hinted they might be able to convince Saddam Hussein to step down if war is imminent. But given his past history, it's doubtful he'd give up even then. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Baghdad.
For some perspective on the challenges facing the UN arms inspectors in Iraq, let's talk with a former inspector who knows the situation there well. Tim McCarthy joins us from Monterey, California. Mr. McCarthy, Hans Blix says he has questions for Baghdad. What do you think those questions might be?
Well, Scott, these are the same questions that have been around for a number of years, and they deal with Iraq's retention of weapons of mass destruction, like biological weapons and chemical weapons, and they still refuse to answer these questions, so these will probably be on the top of his list.
The team in Iraq now has 3 weeks before the deadline. What can they possibly accomplish in that time?
Well, one thing to keep in perspective is that what they won't find, which is sort of the bomb in the basement. We never found it in the 7.5 years that we were there. What they may be able to look for is shreds of evidence to piece together a composite picture about Iraq's current state of its weapons programs.
They haven't found anything incriminating yet. Do you imagine that they will?
Yeah, as I said, this is a very difficult task, and finding that smoking gun at the sort of the gotcha site is difficult to do and probably unrealistic for this team.
What do you make of the fact that they're speeding up their efforts now?
Well, now they have the logistics in place, they have the helicopters, they have the remote headquarters, and this has, I think, all been planned in advance. Now is the time that they can really move to a more intense period of inspections.
Tim McCarthy, former weapons inspector and now CBS News consultant, thanks very much. There is a lot more news around the world. First to Pakistan, where the U.S. military buildup in the Gulf sparked huge protests today. Thousands marched and chanted anti-American slogans in a number of Pakistani cities. The demonstrations were organized by a coalition of Pakistani religious parties whose leaders called for holy war against the United States if U.S. forces strike Iraq. In Caracas, Venezuela today, police battled rival crowds of protesters outside a military post. Opponents of President Hugo Chavez marched to the base, and supporters of Chavez moved to head them off. The police used tear gas and rubber bullets to keep the two groups apart. At least 80 people were injured. And in South Korea, the president-elect tried to defuse the crisis over North Korea's resumption of its nuclear weapons program. But the United States, which has nearly 40,000 troops along the Korean demilitarized zone, said today it has no intention of negotiating with the North Koreans. While facing immediate foreign policy problems, officials said today President Bush will soon turn to an important issue here at home. CBS News White House correspondent Bill Plant reports on the president's plan to revamp the health care system for older Americans.
President Bush, with an eye to the politics of the next election, will move by the end of this month to propose major changes in Medicare, including prescription drug coverage for seniors. Politicians in both parties are keenly aware that as the price of prescription drugs and the cost of health insurance continue to rise, an increasing number of Americans have little or no access to quality care. As he has promised, the president will propose a prescription drug plan for seniors, but he is expected to make it part of broader reforms in the Medicare program. To pay for the prescription coverage, Mr. Bush will likely suggest competition, allowing private health care providers such as HMOs into the market for coverage of Medicare patients. These plans might offer better coverage, but at higher prices. He is also expected to ask again for tax credits, which can be used to purchase health insurance. With Republicans in control of Congress and the rise of heart surgeon Bill Frist to the post of Senate Majority Leader, the White House plan to overhaul the nation's health care system has gotten an unexpected boost. Administration officials believe Frist's credibility as a physician will help sell the Republican version of health care reform, an issue usually more identified with Democrats. But there's no magic bullet for either party, says health policy expert Marilyn Moon. Only hard choices.
Will mean either we're going to have to, as a society, put more money into the program or find major ways to cut back either on who's eligible or on the benefits that they receive. It's not really magic, it's just that you get what you pay for.
Both parties know that the voters are expecting prescription drug coverage. The fight will be over how to pay for it. By reforming Medicare now, which may frighten seniors, or by spending a lot more money, which the government doesn't have. Scott?
Bill Plant at the White House. Thanks, Bill. The Food and Drug Administration today approved the use of Prozac to treat the millions of children who suffer from depression. CBS News correspondent Cheryl Atkinson is in the Washington Bureau and has been covering that story. Cheryl?
Scott, the FDA approved Prozac for kids after drug maker Eli Lilly presented 2 studies on children as young as age 7. They show Prozac works not only for depression, but also obsessive-compulsive disorder, where people have persistent thoughts or impulses and repetitive behavior that's disruptive or dangerous. Though Prozac wasn't approved for kids until today, some doctors were already routinely prescribing it to young patients in so-called off-label use. But it involved a lot of guesswork because until now there were no studies on Prozac use in children. With the FDA's approval, more doctors may be willing to prescribe it. Medical watchdog Dr. Sidney Wolf says parents shouldn't rush to get their kids on Prozac when they may not be clinically depressed.
I'm concerned that Prozac will be way overused compared with the relatively smaller number of children who could benefit from it.
Prozac isn't the first, just the latest antidepressant to be approved for children. 10 other psychiatric drugs are making their way through the pediatric approval process. Experts caution there's little evidence about the long-term effects of antidepressants on a child's developing brain. Scott?
Cheryl Atkinson in Washington. Thanks, Cheryl. In San Diego, the man who kidnapped and murdered 7-year-old Danielle Van Dam almost a year ago was sentenced today. A judge ordered 50-year-old David Westerfield put to death for what the judge called a cruel and vicious crime. A tearful Brenda Van Dam called her daughter's killer a monster, deserving of no mercy. Still to come on the CBS Evening News. If you're thinking of buying a new car, you'll want to wait until you see our next story.
Tonight's Market Watch segment is sponsored by Mutual of Omaha, insurance and financial services.
Ask me anything about cranberries. I spent a good part of my life knee-deep in them. But when it came time to start figuring out retirement and all that, I was in over my head. I don't admit that very often. I found someone I trusted, and we put together a whole plan. Now I don't have to think about it too much. Suits me fine.
Retirement and estate planning from Mutual of Omaha. It's never too late to start planning for tomorrow. Begin today.
35,000 dentists think enough of Crest White Strips to sell them in their offices. 10 million people have tried them. 4 out of 5 would recommend them. Crest White Strips. The secret to a whiter smile is in the strip.
Tough heartburn slowing you down? Try Extra Strength Mylanta. Cooling relief that speeds right to where you need it. Nothing's faster. Extra Strength Mylanta. Soothing at the speed of life.
On February 14th, Publishers Clearinghouse could surprise you with $10 million on live TV. The bad news is...
Oh my God!
You could flip out in front of millions. The good news is, who cares?
Introducing a new overnight laxative, Freelax. These have stimulants that can disturb your system and cause cramps.
Freelax is different.
It's stimulant-free and cramp-free. It's new, different, it's Freelax.
It works overnight and no cramps. Freelax.
Shh, they're coming.
Oh, what a time for a cold.
Nose is running, head's all blocked up. I need some Alka-Seltzer Plus.
I'll get my Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Only Alka-Seltzer Plus has an effervescent cold-fighting formula to break up nasal congestion and release you from your worst cold symptoms fast.
Were you surprised?
Nah. Works every time.
Effervescent Alka-Seltzer Plus breaks up your worst cold symptoms fast. And try the power of Alka-Seltzer Plus harnessed in a liquid gel.
Looking for a snack that's low in fat but still high in taste? Orville Redenbacher's Smart Pop is 94% fat-free, 100% delicious. Pick up some Orville Redenbachers today and start popping smart.
Well, that didn't last long. Wall Street's New Year rally fizzled today following a big triple-digit gain yesterday. The Dow closed down about 6 points today after Home Depot reported slow sales and predicted smaller profits. The U.S. auto industry is coming off one of its best sales years ever, but it's taking profit-eating incentives to get buyers into the showrooms, as Anthony Mason reports on the CBS News Market Watch.
Okay, hop in here for me.
It was the final sales week of the year for auto dealers, and in Yonkers, New York, Jonathan Grant saw Jeep sales soaring on his monthly tote board.
Right, the Jeep number right here is 100. It'll probably be, by the time we're done, it'll be about 130, 135.
The Valleja family from Connecticut picked up their new SUV this week.
Here we go, William.
But first, they shopped for the best incentives on the internet.
So you get more information on your cars, get a better price.
0% financing kept customers coming and factory lines moving for the automakers. 16.8 million units were sold in the U.S. in 2002, down from the past 2 years, but still the fourth best year ever.
A sales pace that anyone in the auto industry in the mid-90s would have given his right arm for.
Even the recession couldn't put the brakes on the auto market. In fact, auto sales have been a spark plug that has kept the economy from stalling.
And it still has to be remembered, this is the biggest industry in America and in the world.
Detroit accounts for more than 3% of the nation's GDP, and the industry employs more than 2 million workers.
The automobile industry has the capability of giving you a recession all by itself. If there was a big decline in automobile sales, that'll give you a recession without anything else happening.
Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler all saw their sales slide in 2002, and those incentives cut into their profits. Some fear it could get worse.
The doomsayers were saying 2001 was going to be terrible after September 11th. 2002 was supposed to be a down year, but we haven't seen it, and I see no reason why 2003 shouldn't be, around the same.
That's important.
My first deal for 2003.
Because auto sales are still one of the few engines keeping the economy moving.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Anthony Mason, CBS News, Yonkers, New York.
United Airlines said today it is cutting 1,700 more jobs and shutting down its remaining 32 ticket offices effective January 28th. The airline says the cuts are needed to meet requirements of interim financing under bankruptcy protection. On the CBS Weather Watch, one New Yorker said today, "I've had my white Christmas, and that's enough." But there is more where that came from. The Northeast's second winter storm in a week is expected to dump up to 2 feet of new snow on parts of New York State tonight and tomorrow, and over a foot in New Haven and other spots in neighboring Connecticut. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, they say you're a sweepstakes winner, but oh, there is a really big catch. That's our Friday Consumer Alert, coming up next.
Morning, Joe. New haircut?
No. New shoes? No.
Hey, Joe. You been working out?
No.
Hey, Joe. Shave your mustache?
Nope.
You sure that's not a new haircut?
Yes.
Did you just get back from vacation?
No.
Did you get a promotion?
No.
Did I?
No.
No.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Emerging science suggests that lycopene is one of the ingredients in tomatoes that may help reduce the risk of heart disease.
Now Centrum and Centrum Silver have lycopene. Another reason to take your Centrum.
New Centrum with lycopene. Now more complete from A to Zinc.
Marie Callender made her country fried chicken dinner with care. She served it up with mashed potatoes whipped with real cream, and corn was best eaten right off the cob. And to this day, we're still making it Marie's way. Marie Callender's, made with the care of Marie.
When my gang eats out, it's 5 different stomachs, 5 different stomach problems. But we don't need 5 medicines. We just need one. Pepto-Bismol. For heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, nausea, and diarrhea. Think pink. Think Pepto.
If you have a cold and high blood pressure, you should know that decongestants in these medicines can raise your blood pressure. So why take them? Take decongestant-free Coricidin HBP. Powerful relief that won't raise your blood pressure.
Excuse me?
Dad, don't look.
Well, you're wearing a towel.
No, don't look at the scale.
Maybe you should be eating Total cereal.
I eat Special K, thank you.
You know, a study of calcium supplements and reduced calorie diets suggests you could lose more weight and burn more fat by adding more calcium to your diet plan.
So?
Only Total has 100% daily value of calcium. Special K is hardly any.
Say no more. I'll take the Total. You're still here, aren't you?
Yeah, just leaving. Total. A smart way to lose the weight.
These are the Jones Boys, and this is Mom, who's found a new way to keep up with the Joneses. Introducing new Pledge Wipes with orange oil. The only wipes with both the power of orange oil to help her clean fast. And Pledge conditioners to make the shine last. Because this isn't just any wipe with orange oil. It's a Pledge wipe with orange oil. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
You mean that fingerprints at a crime scene are not a surefire way to establish guilt? Not necessarily, and we'll tell you why Sunday on 60 Minutes.
To police and criminals, it is literally one of the oldest tricks in the book, the swindle, built on the nearly universal human desire to believe in out-of-the-blue good fortune, and combine that with legitimate hopes for winning a big sweepstakes prize. And correspondent Cynthia Bowers reports it's ready-made for our Friday Consumer Alerts.
For nearly a quarter century, Ruth Elmstead has been waiting for a moment like this. The Publishers Clearinghouse Prize Patrol coming to her door with a fat check. Then, just days before Christmas, she got a call.
Oh, I thought it was really from Publishers Clearinghouse. I was so happy. I thought, oh, the things they can do with that money.
The caller told her she'd won $400,000. All she had to do was send a cashier's check for $2,200 to prepay part of the taxes on the prize. The claim sounded sincere, particularly since Ruth remembered seeing a Minnesota couple win the $10 million prize last year. So she let herself believe in a Christmas miracle.
I was really going to send it in. I called my bank and was making arrangements. And
her bank became suspicious. So did her son Gary, especially when the phone kept ringing.
Each call, they stepped up the pressure on her to, haven't you sent the check yet? How come you haven't? Don't you want to win?
Sensing a scam, he called the Minnesota Attorney General's office. Within an hour, the state phone bank had received a dozen similar complaints, including some where the brazen crooks even posed as IRS agents looking for sweepstakes tax money. The flood of calls suggested a con team was targeting the state, using new tricks like prepaid calling cards to make the calls even harder to trace.
That's very new, very new. And a lot of these scams that we're seeing, the scams in and of themselves are probably old, but they followed the invention of technology.
Publishers Clearinghouse says it's working with law enforcement to track down these con artists, but stresses it never contacts sweepstakes winners by phone.
If you receive a call from somebody saying that you've won a prize, if they're requiring money, hang up the phone. It's not a legitimate sweepstakes offer.
To make matters even worse, once they have your personal information, these crooks can steal your identity. So far from marking the end of your financial troubles, falling for this scam could be just the beginning. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Chicago.
Off southern Italy today, a major eruption of the island volcano Stromboli entered its second week. The volcano sent huge clouds of smoke and ash drifting over the Mediterranean and lava streaming down its flanks. An explosive eruption earlier this week sent millions of tons of rock cascading into the sea. Look at that. Stromboli's 450 residents have been evacuated. You're watching the CBS Evening News, and coming up next, the ad was posted by a desperate parent, but it was answered by a good Samaritan.
There are some who live for caring with all they have to give. There are some who will always be there. They dare to care. They dare to cry. They dare to feel. They dare to try. There are some who have the courage to care. There are some
Be a nurse.
who dare to care.
A message of caring from Johnson & Johnson.
I want my Ziploc bags. I see my blue box, I know I'm going to head toward that and grab it. I trust them. Ziploc bags are up to 33% stronger than Glad. Stronger is important for me because of all the different things I use them for. I do use them for food, but I use them for cosmetics, I use them for paperwork, I use them for markers. When I travel, my sun lotions, my shampoos, they go in the Ziploc bags because if they're going to explode, I know they're not going to be all over my clothes when I get there.
Ziploc Strong for what life has in store. S.C. Johnson, a family company. Are you taking Allegra for your seasonal allergies yet? Whoa! I guess not. Allegra for multi-symptom relief. See your doctor for people 12 and over. Side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. Allegra, it's time to switch.
We're here showing folks how a packet of Hidden Valley Ranch changes spinach dip into ranch spinach dip.
I like it. Really, it's different.
And changes salsa into ranch salsa.
It's jazzy, pizzazzy.
Hidden Valley Ranch. This changes everything.
The powerful new Silverado is here. Still available with the 340-horse Vortec V8.
Hello there.
Hi.
Cigarette?
Excuse me.
Now a new patch from Nicotrol has all the strength you need to help beat cigarettes one craving at a time. And with Nicotrol, you're twice as likely to succeed than with cold turkey.
Nicotrol patch?
The new Nicotrol step-down patch helps beat cigarettes one craving at a time.
It's a touching story. A pregnant mother encounters unexpected complications. Her 6-year-old son saves her life. The story at 6.
Usually at this time, we give the last word of the news to the late-night comedians, but most of them were taking a holiday break this week. So we will end tonight with a story that won't make you laugh, but we sure think it'll make you smile. It's a story about the kindness of a stranger reported by our own Elizabeth Caledon.
It started with a few little words in a local Illinois paper. 4-year-old girl in desperate need of kidney transplant. Little words that spoke volumes to 38-year-old David Harper of nearby Mount Morris, Illinois.
I don't think I could live with myself if something happened and I didn't do it.
So today, he did do it. After a 2-hour surgery, Harper gave one of his kidneys to Angela Rushford, a little girl he did not know. Tonight, both are doing well.
He's my hero. You know, when I was a kid, my hero was Spider-Man. Now it's David Harper.
Angela had been diagnosed with a rare kidney disorder and was declining fast. She'd been on a kidney donor list for months. The want ad was her parents' most public prayer.
It's like a miracle, dream come true.
It may, in fact, be a miracle of sorts. David Harper had never even picked up a copy of the Rock River Times before the day he read Angela's ad. He was a perfect match. An unemployed welder, disabled on the job, Harper will receive no compensation for his gift. When asked why he would sacrifice a kidney, he says it's all about giving.
She's 4 years old. I mean, she's got at least 70 years, you know. Why not let her enjoy them and live a long and healthy life?
Even if you don't believe in miracles, what happened today between two strangers is a healthy reminder that we should always believe in the depths of human kindness. Elizabeth Caledon, CBS News, New York.
And that's the CBS Evening News for this Friday. Bob Schieffer will be along Sunday with Face the Nation, and later tonight, 2 editions of 48 Hours Investigates with Leslie Stahl.
A desperate mother sends her troubled son to boot camp for discipline.
I want you to keep your eyeballs right behind this guy's head.
But Anthony never came home.
We have a kid who's passed out.
Is he bleeding at all?
Is the camp commander guilty of murder? 48 Hours Investigates tonight.
That's at 8 o'clock, 7 Central. Then 48 Hours Investigates another mystery with clues leading halfway around the world. That's at 10, 9 Central. I'm Scott Pelley in New York. Dan Rather will be back on Monday. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. This is CBS.
Next on Coin 6 News at 6.
He's been spotted in Canada. Coin 6 News follows the trail of Edward Morris. Live team coverage is next.
Cowboy Mike is back in jail. Police say his latest escape attempt went about as well as this one. An update on the suspected murderer.
They drive too fast. It's not safe. We've heard that from many Washington County residents. Tonight, we've caught you in the act at a speed trap.
A 6-year-old hero who saved 2 lives. Hear about him. Coin 6 News at 6 starts now.
Now, with Julie Emery and Jeff Gianola. This is Coin 6 News at 6.
A wanted man accused of murdering his family and dumping their bodies in Tillamook State Forest may have crossed the border. New tips put Edward Morris tonight in Canada. Hello and welcome to Coin 6 News at 6. I'm Mike Donahue in for Julie Emery.
Stride for it, Coin 6 News.
He's out now. This is the second.
When events happen, it's instant. Things are moving fast. Information is coming in at the speed of light. You need to understand what's happening. It needs to be clear to you. At Coin 6 News, we know that. You can see it in our people. You can see it in our work. It's complete, clear, local news coverage. It's our commitment to you.
Experience the difference. Coin 6 News nightly at 5, 6, and 11.